All right, my name is Stacey Ray. Thank you all for being here today, and we're going to talk about a leadership philosophy, and I'm going to go through 3 items that are critical to a good leader and a leadership philosophy. So the first one we're going to look at is emotional intelligence and the importance of compassion. Second, we will investigate the meaning of servant leadership and how a genuine commitment to be other-oriented supports followers on their way to self-actualization. And third, we will review current research on the theory of transformational leadership, not only in professional, but personal growth through teaching and mentoring. J.M. Burns, a leadership scholar, observed that leadership is one of the most observed and least understood phenomena on earth. Most leadership scholars can agree on a selection of traits that classify society's good leaders from the not so good. In 1970s, R.K. Greenleaf's book, Servant Leadership, A Journey into the Nature of Legitimate Power and Greatness, shared that leaders place their trust primarily in people, for they know that better information systems or state-of-the-art technology will not produce a better society. And we all know this to be true today. So authors Marlene Neal and Juan Meng define servant leadership as a moral form of leadership. They clarify 3 descriptions of a servant leader. 1, you must be other-oriented with an approach to leadership. 2, it manifests itself through one-on-one prioritizing of follower individual needs and interests. And 3, an outward reorienting of their concern for self towards concern for others within either an organization or a larger community. So in addition to these 3 definitions, the authors also list character traits associated with a servant leader. These include, number 1, always being a good listener, empathy, healing, self-awareness, use of persuasion rather than positional authority, vision, humility, integrity, stewardship, commitment to the growth of others, and commitment to community building. So as businesses evolve into human-centered, holistic organizations, it is critical that the idea of servant leadership present the overwhelming mindset of leadership from the top down and the bottom up. Organizations that promote and develop servant leaders, meaning the organization prioritizes ethical behavior and the well-being of their followers, customers, and community over self-interest or over profit, have recently received increasing attention among scholars and organizations alike, according to Thalen and Yu. So now we're going to talk about emotional intelligence and the ability to lead with empathy. These are hallmark components of servant leadership. Emotional intelligence involves a self-awareness of not only your emotions, but the emotions of those that you interact with. Using strategies that include cognitive and behavioral recognition to manage and regulate emotions across the human spectrum of emotions. According to a study by Payakin and Associates, compassion is a skill that can be increased through training emotional skills with observable benefits for an organization. The authors define compassion as an interpersonal process involving the noticing, feeling, acting, and sense-making that alleviate the suffering of another person, and go on to stress that it is in high demand in today's workplace environment and leadership. Based on the results of the study, research suggests that compassion in organizations has been associated with improved cooperation and trust, a more pro-social identity, and increased sense of worth and value. In addition, when organizations practice compassionate leadership, there is a connection between the followers and an increased attachment to the organization and a decrease in turnover rates. In a 2023 study by Hugo M. Keller and Associates from the TUM School of Management, Technical University of Munich, Germany, the authors defined transformational leadership as a motivation theory. The study also quotes Burns' 1978 definition as the transforming leader looks for potential motives in followers and seeks to satisfy higher needs and engages the full person or the follower. In a 1998 study by B.M. Bass, he contributed to the relatively emerging leadership theory of the decade by adding that a transformational leader is someone who motivates us to do more than we originally expected to do. House in 1977 compounded the definition of transformational leadership by emphasizing that for a leader to develop into a transformational leader, they must first study their followers. They have to study so that they can motivate arousal and subsequent intrinsic motivations. And then lastly, the study quoted Shamir's direct definition as leaders selectively arouse follower non-conscious achievement, affiliation, and power motives. One continuing theme in all of the scholars' definition is the term motivation. Therefore, to become a transformational leader, one must always be looking for ways to motivate with inspiration or persuasion of one's followers. A transformational leader who seeks to develop a continual growth mindset amongst their followers may present challenges to old problems with different or new solutions. This allows the follower a level of intellectual stimulation, and the study inferred that a leader displaying high amounts of intellectual stimulation interacts with the follower's achievement motive. And in that, followers high on the achievement motive will be motivated if their leader shows a high level of intellectual stimulation. So it's a give and take relationship. This manifests itself within organizations by allowing the workforce to be a part of the solution and listening to every idea with respect and intention to foster open creativity. In addition, leaders must allow room for failure, creating a culture that celebrates the learning journey to greatness even more than the organization celebrates successes. This allows all members a safe space to explore and share ideas. The author suggests that support could come from transformational leadership training, which should place a strong focus on the uniqueness of different transformational leadership dimensions and include exercises to increase leaders' sensitivity to their followers' motives. So based on this recommendation, we can summarize that transformational leadership acts don't always occur naturally, and organizations must prioritize the training and culture building to ensure a constant pursuit of transformational leadership. So if an individual feels that they are called to lead, they can formulate the constructs of high morals, servant leadership, empathy with compassion, and have all the right skills to provide a transformational leadership experience for their followers. In turn, followers can model the leader's behavior, creating workplaces of happiness and feelings of belonging. When this occurs, people can go home happier. They can be fulfilled and have a solid purpose. In turn, organizations can take their human capital out into communities and share these best practices, creating stronger communities and building a better world for us all. Thank you. Luke, did you span and get everybody? Thank you so much, Lorraine, for